Hey everyone. We are so glad to have you with us today. Please share with us if you can hear and see all of us well, and please submit your responses in the chat section. You can choose the option to send to all so that everyone could see your messages. Meanwhile, we'd like to give our audience a couple of minutes to connect before we kick off our discussion, our hot discussion today. And as we wait, let's get to know each other a bit more. So please share on the chat where you are watching us from. And since today's topic is built around artificial intelligence, please name your favorite AI-powered solutions. As for me, in my job, I sometimes use ChatGPT, of course, and because it's helpful to suggest some title options for articles, for reports, and it is also helpful to generate some hypotheses. For example, we have recently launched a big and valuable artificial intelligence report, and we, of course, utilized ChatGPT for this purpose. So please drop your responses on the chat. I'm really curious. Guys, don't be shy. You must have tried something. Oh, I see. Anna is from Berlin. ChatGPT for sure, for sure. So, yeah, and here we can see our dear panelists. I will introduce them soon. But you guys can already see that we have an international party event today. So let me once again welcome everyone. We are really happy to have you today at the SplitMetrics App Growth panel. And today's topic is AI-powered user acquisition and retention, strategies for maximizing LTV. My name is Lina Danichuk, and I'm from SplitMetrics. And as you know, SplitMetrics is a global company offering an ecosystem of enterprise-grade products and services that serve as a growth engine for mobile businesses. And now I want you to join me in welcoming our dear panelists. So today we have with us Ben Rudman, Vice President of Partnerships at CleverTap. Ben, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Ready to talk about AI with my fellow data nerds here. As a quick introduction, at CleverTap, we're reimagining customer engagement as an all-in-one platform. We empower businesses to build lifelong relationships with their customers by providing insights into their customer behaviors and preferences along that entire journey.
Thank you so much, Ben. We are really happy and glad to have you with us today. And now let me introduce our next panelist, and this is Roy Nem, CEO at Airbridge. Hi, Roy, welcome.
Hi, Lena. Thanks for inviting me today. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining this session. I'm Roy, CEO and founder of Airbridge. Airbridge is a mobile measurement partner we call as MMP. And we've been in this industry for the last 8 years, and that we help brands measure and optimize their digital marketing spend. Nice to meet you all.
Thank you, Roy, and again, welcome. And our last but not least speaker is our very own Zara Abutahir. She's App Growth Consultant at SplitMetrics. Please extend your warm welcome to Zara and other panelists on the chat. Zara, hi.
Hi, Lena. Nice. So first of all, thanks a lot for inviting me here. And hi, everyone. I'm Zara. I'm an App Growth Consultant at SplitMetrics. I've been working in this industry for 4+ years. I've helped several brands scale their user acquisition efforts over different ad networks and social networks as well. Just to keep my introduction short, I'm based out of Istanbul, in Turkey. And other than mobile marketing, I have a couple of other hobbies as well. I like to play the guitar, I like to make music, and I'm a dog mom. So nice to meet everyone.
Oh, wow. And I'm a cat mom. So greetings from another side. And so, guys, we have such a great talented group of experts today. So I'm sure your insights will be eagerly awaited by our audience. And just before we start, I'd like to cover just a couple of housekeeping items. Of course, we have prepared a set of questions for today's session. We know what we're going to discuss, what hot subtopics we're going to cover. However, guys, we also value your participation and encourage our audience to actively submit your questions and comments on the chat. And both our seasoned panelists and our own dedicated team will be happy to provide some answers, hopefully insights and tips. In case we are unable to address all your questions during this session, rest assured that we will follow up with responses after our today's panel and send you the answers via email, or we'll share them on our blog post. And also, to enhance the interactivity of this session, we've prepared a set of polls that will be introduced at various stages of our discussion. So we kindly encourage you to take a moment to share your responses and then together check the results in real time. I believe everyone will be curious about that. With this, let's just open today's discussion. And the first subtopic, the first talking point today is AI for market and consumer intelligence. And I would like to start with Zara. Zara, given your close collaboration with UA managers, you undoubtedly have a unique perspective on how AI helps in pinpointing and targeting high LTV users. So could you please share your own insight on this matter based on your hands-on experience?
Of course. Thanks a lot for bringing up this topic to start off. So the role of AI and machine learning in pinpointing and targeting high LTV users is really fascinating. So we've all experienced the impact of AI-driven targeting in our day-to-day lives, perhaps without even realizing it. For example, when you're thinking of buying a new pair of shoes, and suddenly shoe ads seem to be everywhere you turn. And no, I'm not talking about remarketing ads of some specific shoes. You looked at a website or, like random shoe ads from brands you've never even heard of before. So there are a lot of speculations that these ads are a result of your smartphones eavesdropping on your conversations. But let's kind of clear the air. The notion that our devices are secretly listening to us is kind of a myth. If that was the truth, your smartphone battery would die in a couple of hours, your cellular data usage would skyrocket, and all of those tech companies would have to pay billions of dollars just to store all of those recordings, not to mention that to process all the data, they would need a whole new kind of supercomputers. So how is that possible? The answer is simple. So meticulous event tracking and the remarkable capabilities of AI and machine learning algorithms. So these algorithms operate on various levels, capturing and analyzing data points that the average user wouldn't even think about. Through this intricate web of data analysis, AI identifies patterns in user behavior. So it can determine your preferences, interests, and even predict your future actions based on your past interactions. This is how marketers can tailor their campaigns to reach individuals who are more likely to engage and become high LTV users. So if we zoom in on the major players in the advertising ecosystem like Apple Search Ads, Meta, Google, you'll discover they've been using these approaches for years now to provide UA managers with platform-native targeting options like users' behaviors, interests, or demographic criteria. Let's now consider a scenario. You suddenly find yourself bombarded with mobile gaming ads on Facebook and Instagram, despite not having overtly shown interest in this domain. The truth is, these ads aren't randomly generated. Instead, they're the result of intricate data analysis. Perhaps you paused to watch a video about a game and the AI system picked up on this interaction, tailoring subsequent ads to align with your brief moment of engagement. Here's another twist. Your close friends with whom you engage frequently have recently downloaded a particular app. The algorithms are observing this trend, evaluating whether the app might also pique your interest. This is how the gears turn behind the scenes, especially with certain display ads that aren't specifically aimed at custom or lookalike audiences. While search ads may seem more straightforward, where a user inputs a search term, the highest bidder wins the auction, and the ad appears. AI is very much at play here as well. All those finely tuned segments that you see in your ad account, They're the handiwork of AI algorithms. The data has been meticulously processed, analyzed, and grouped to not only ensure a personalized user experience, but also to drive conversions, which naturally delights advertisers. And sure enough, there are a lot of AI-powered tools that empower UA managers to not only build buying personas from scratch, but also to refine their strategies using existing first-party data. Just to name a few, you have Delve AI, UX Pressia, UserForge, Taskgate, ChatGPT, as everyone mentioned, AirPM, Google Chrome extension for ChatGPT. However, it's important to note that while AI is a game changer, human expertise remains a critical component. The fusion of AI's capabilities with human insights creates a synergy that maximizes our ability to effectively pinpoint high LTV users. So in our recent State of AI in Mobile Marketing report, we have some great prompts for ChatGPT that UA managers can use to create buying personas, segment your audience, and improving targeting to get high LTV users. So you can check it via the link our team has posted in the chat. And Lena, back over to you.
Thank you so much, Zara, for such a detailed response. I hope you guys are writing down. Just kidding, because we will share the recording after the panel, so you guys will be able to watch it once again. And Ben, based on your journey with CleverTap, I think you must have witnessed numerous cases of how AI algorithms empower mobile marketers to decipher user behavior and preferences after users have installed an app or mobile game. So could you please shed some light on these insights?
Absolutely. Understanding users is one of the key steps towards retaining them in your app. AI has thankfully made many advancements over the last year and over the last few years that's made the marketer's job to answer complex questions much simpler. At CleverTap, we've been analyzing usage behavior from our customers and essentially using it as a funnel to build our AI product suite. We found that AI segmentation based upon real-time actions is really helpful in predicting, for example, users who are likely to churn. On the flip side, you can use AI to advantage to help frequent users become loyal users. So it works both ways. And so you can build user segmentation and send promotional offers to churn risk users, at least get them to try your offering, while at the same time, making those loyalists even more loyal to your service. We have an example case study with CoinWorks that used our advanced segmentation to reduce their cost per active user by 70% and increase customer sales by 30%. So using AI and sort of defining sales and increased engagement, and some really great case studies here. And we recently put this all together and launched a complete AI suite called Clever AI, and it works like a magic orb for marketers. I like to call it Palantir for those Lord of the Rings fans, and it gives you a view into how to drive conversions. So, for example, it can give you predictive segmentation models to forecast your ROI. So basically, you set conversion goals and get instant predictions on the likelihood of achieving them within a certain user base. So it's very intent-based. And our focus at CleverTap has been improving customer lifetime value for marketers. So we're trying to build AI into your workflows on a daily basis.
Well, thank you so much, Ben. Thank you for sharing this concise case, because I think reducing cost per active user by 70%, this is really impressive. This is what almost everyone is seeking, I think. So that's awesome. And now, Roy, with your deep insights from Airbridge in the mobile measurement arena, I want to ask you, how do you see artificial intelligence and machine learning reshaping the landscape of mobile attribution today? Could you please share with us?
Yeah, sure, Lena. So thanks for your question. AI ML certainly is revolutionizing the field of attribution in several ways as well. And maybe I like to highlight 3 key use cases. So first, marketing mix modeling that we shorten as MMM, triple M. And second, fraud detection is certainly being affected. And lastly, calculating the LTV, so customer lifetime value. So first of all, about the marketing mix modeling, MMM is actually becoming increasingly more popular amongst the marketers, and this technique is particularly interesting because it offers a privacy-friendly approach to attribution. So MMM definitely uses not only just statistical methodologies, but it also uses a lot of machine learning and AI algorithms like regression and multi-layer causal inference models to analyze and aggregate data and measure the overall effectiveness of various marketing channels. And second, that ML&AI is influencing really greatly is fraud detection. It's definitely another area that benefits substantially from machine learning. So algorithms are now able to, shifting through vast data sets to identify anomalies and abnormal patterns with incredible accuracy. So definitely AML is influencing fraud detection. And lastly, I want to mention about lifetime value calculation. So while we use all kinds of methodologies, like while traditional statistical curve fitting models like Bayesian-based SVG offer a good starting point, they may not capture some of the unusual retention curves like stochastic curves or uncommon business models. Whereas some of the more advanced machine learning methods like gradient boosting can offer a more comprehensive view of LTV for unusual cases. So summary, MMM, fraud detection, and LTV calculation. So these three areas are definitely influenced by ML and AI technologies.
Thank you, Roy. That's really interesting that now with AI and machine learning in particular, you can identify some unusual behavior and what's most important, quickly react, quickly adjust your strategy, quickly change something. So that's really interesting. And before we move forward to our next subtopic, I'd like to ask our audience, remember I mentioned polls. Yes, we have polls today. So I want to ask you, where do you perceive the most value from AI technology in mobile app marketing? So, see the options of answers, please vote, and then let's later take a look all together of how everyone voted. And meanwhile, while you are voting, please be active. Now let's move on. We have briefly discussed the influence of artificial intelligence on user acquisition, but expanding on that, Roy, I want to ask you, could you please delve into how AI-centric solutions are guiding marketers to pinpoint the networks and ad creatives that deliver really paying customers, really valuable customers from that point of view?
Yeah, of course. So for every business, paying customers are important. So in this case, there's several ways that you can do it, but if I am to choose one, I will definitely pick marketing mix modeling, MMM, which I mentioned just earlier, because it's becoming even more crucial when we discuss identifying network and ad creatives that effectively bring in paying customers. So MMM not only helps in general marketing effectiveness, but it is also an essential tool for budget reallocation. So because MMM utilizes machine learning, it allows marketers to run simulations and adjust various parameters to achieve optimal outcomes for example number of installs or paying customers or signing up users. So this means what I want to tell you is MMM is a very actionable tool. So in the past, when you use attribution tools like Airbridge, all you would get is the retrospective insight into your past marketing performance, whereas MMM really gives you a prescriptive insight that you can really work on and use that insight to reallocate your budget across different channels, campaigns, and creatives to eventually maximize the ROI. So in this case, if we set the Y variable as paying customers, then MMM will certainly train itself and let you know how to reallocate your budget across different channels to maximize the number of paying users.
Sorry, I keep muting myself, but Roy, very interesting. Thank you so much for sharing. And now turning our attention to bid management and campaign performance. Zara, how proficient have AI algorithms become in assisting app marketers, with these aspects I've just mentioned?
All right, great question, Lena. So basically, the ever-changing landscape of user behavior and demands is undeniable in today's fast-paced world. So consider how Barbie experienced a surge in demand with the release of the movie, and then suddenly, everything was pink, voices were getting louder, and then, the Barbie dolls were flying off the shelves. So this phenomenon isn't really limited to physical products. We've witnessed something similar with the App Store as well. So with the introduction of ChatGPT, you saw there were a flurry of AI-powered apps that were suddenly showing up on the App Store, and everyone was trying to, sort of carve their own piece of the cake. So for UA managers to be agile in responding to such abrupt demand surges, a dependable infrastructure is a must. So the ability to not only identify these trends, but also rapidly recalibrate bidding strategies is something that is a dual necessity. So once you enter the realm of smart bidding capabilities, which have been integrated by major tech giants to address precisely these demands. Google states that more than 80% of Google advertisers are using automated bidding. So smart bidding, in essence, is a masterful blend of machine learning and artificial intelligence, and it serves as the cornerstone for determining the right ad bid for each ad. So machine learning, let's say, plays a pivotal role in this orchestration. So by delving into data from previous campaigns, such as click-through rates, cost per installs, conversions, CPAs, and ROAS, machine learning algorithms meticulously analyze and unravel patterns and trends. So after that, the magic fully unfolds. Artificial intelligence steps onto the stage, wielding real-time contextual information as its brush. So user location, device usage, time of the day, comparative landscape are basically the dynamic strokes that AI applies to the canvas. So this dynamic data allows AI to adjust bids in real time, ensuring that the campaign remains relevant and competitive. So on top of platform native smart bidding capabilities, there are also numerous AI-powered solutions that help UA managers automate and optimize their bidding strategies with those ad networks. For example, in SplitMetrics Acquire, which is an intelligence platform for Apple Search Ads automation, we have a feature called bid optimization or bid strategy. So this feature is a set of smart algorithms for automatic bidding designed for enabling mobile developers to optimize Apple Search Ads campaigns toward target metrics such as CPA, which is cost per targeted action, and ROAS. So the main purpose of this functionality is to achieve the highest possible return on investment while minimizing costs. So the optimization process involves ML-based analysis of historical keyword performance data to identify patterns and trends. For instance, the keywords that drove the most revenue in the past, for instance. So with the automated and optimized bidding strategies tailored to CPA or ROAS targets, app marketers find themselves immersed in a unified ecosystem. So all market insights, predictions, and reports converge into a single interface, and they eliminate the need to basically juggle between different windows and tools. So this means that you can spend more time towards strategic planning, innovation, and creative thinking, and basically do more with less. So back over to you, Lena.
Thank you so much, Zara. You mentioned the impact of Barbie. You can see me in bookkeeping, so I'm impacted as well. But shifting just from paid UA to ASO, organic optimization, we are undoubtedly amid a fascinating clash of algorithms amplified by the rise of artificial intelligence. So again, Zara, can you offer insights or strategies for marketers aiming to outsmart App Store algorithms using the power of AI?
Sure. So another great question from your side. So basically, at this point, I guess I don't know any ASO professional who has not tried AI for boosting organic installs, especially considering how it's very easily done with the help of ChatGPT and Midjourney. And for sure, SplitMetrics agency experts are also experts at leveraging AI tools when it comes to working with our clients. So I'd say there are 5 main areas for ASO professionals to use AI tools. So one of them is market and competitor research, then optimization of textual and visual assets, meta keyword optimization, localization, and review management. So I've already mentioned before, like the state of AI in mobile marketing report. Again, if you're looking for inspiration, tools, and prompts to improve your ASO strategies, you can get your free access and dig into the section on AI for ASO. So basically, my top insights for ASO specialists playing with AI tools would be following. So first of all, you should think really good of all the details and include them in the prompt. So it's not enough to type in like generate a good description for a fitness app and expect good results. Include like killer features of your app in the prompt and add USPs. Specify the audience segment you're trying to reach, your brand's tone of voice, and obviously do not forget to add a character limit. If you're also generating text assets using ChatGPT, it also has several hidden parameters that can influence the final result. So for instance, temperature ranges. Users can adjust the temperature setting to influence the diversity of the generated responses. A higher temperature value, for example, 0.8, results in more creative and varied responses, whereas a lower temperature value, let's say of something like 0.2, would make the output more focused and deterministic. So while you're also using AI for app screenshots and icon ideation, so most probably you won't be able to create like great app screenshots for your app product page at this point. App icon, maybe something great will come up again with a ton of details in the prompt, and some of them should be very specific, like color codes, maybe aperture, shutter speed, and ISO. But to mine ideas of what could be displayed on the visuals, what could be the order of screenshots for great conversion, the AI will help you here for sure. Moving on to keyword optimization. So keyword optimization also becomes much more easier with AI tools. So what you can do is you can ask ChatGPT if it knows the app X, for example, 90% of the time it will know it, and then ask the tool to generate a semantic core of this app for your convenience. Also, inserting keywords in descriptions that have a character limit is a lifesaver. You can also try like ChatGPT plugins to access information real time, like web ChatGPT. This is very helpful for review management. And lastly, most probably AI tools won't be able to create text copy for your app in another language. The translation agency is still a better option here, but they can definitely help with searching for local events for your marketing calendar, proofreading, and looking for ideas to enter or scale in a specific market. So I hope I answered your question, Lina.
You've done it to the fullest, Sarah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for such like practical tips. Very interesting, and I think our audience can like take note of them. And meanwhile, before we delve some deeper into AI's role in measurement and user journey, we'd like to get a pulse on your current practices. Remember, guys, you voted for poll number 1. Let's check the results. Oh, interesting. So user engagement, and I've just mentioned, and retention is hitting the first spot, followed by user acquisition and then app store optimization. Very interesting. Thank you so much, guys, for voting. But you didn't think this was the last poll, right? We have another one. So now I want to ask you, how are you leveraging AI-powered technology for UA and SO? So you have multiple options. Please take a look and vote now. And as usual, we'll together take a look at the results later. And now we are moving to the third subtopic of today's discussion. It's like has been said multiple times already. It's AI for user engagement, the winner of the previous poll, and retention. So this year, considering the prevalent budget constraints, the emphasis on user retention for mobile app marketers has never been greater. So Ben, could you please reveal how AI assists mobile app marketers in orchestrating user journeys and growing this big big indicator LTV?
Absolutely. In today's world where customer acquisition costs and competition are at an all-time high, user retention and customer lifetime values become the North Star metric for growth marketers. Thank you for those who voted in the poll. And what we see is engaging with users at the optimal time, channel, frequency, at each step of their retention journey, gives them that personalized experience to feel connected to your app. And hence, at CleverTap, we built these into our journey orchestration platform. For example, one of our streaming clients, Z5, has mastered the art of using AI-assisted engagement. And so using best time messaging, they were able to show a 60% uplift in the click-through of their campaigns. And so as part of our CleverTap AI and build like empathetic and cognitive intelligence into marketing, we've created a feature called IntelliNode, where you can set up separate conversion goals at each step of the journey. And then AI will automatically pick up to 7 paths the user can take when optimizing their conversions. So if you want to see what channel of a push or email or Google Ads drives the most conversions in a particular step, the IntelliNode will build out this journey automatically and essentially puts the journey orchestration and conversions on autopilot. And you can do some really sophisticated multivariate testing with the IntelliNode as well. It's a really cool feature as part of Clever AI. Thank you.
Thank you, Ben. Really interesting. But my next question is also to you. Hyper personalization is a buzzword today, and we hear it really often. So I wanted to ask, how has AI transformed this concept from a buzzword to a really actionable strategy for marketers who are aiming to elevate their user engagement to the next level?
The proof is in the data. So our data analysts at CleverTap have shown that creating personalized journey experiences boosts retention in the app, and also delights the customer of having a good experience. So creating that one-to-one experience, what we call hyper personalization or buzzword, does create that long-term relationship with your customers. And so one of the ways to do this within CleverTap is our system ingests hundreds of events specific to that user in real time, which then can be used to craft a specific recommendation to that user. For example, personalization, and a delivery app could use the name Hey Benjamin instead of Hey User. Very simple. And then you could bring in external factors of let's say weather conditions, and then recommend ice cream or hot ramen based upon their conditions. Or you can use categories. If I like Mexican food, use that as part of my future recommendations. And so just one of our examples, one of our e-commerce clients, TataClick, they doubled their click-through rates and had almost 159%. I had to look at the number and make sure I have it correct. Boost in revenues to hyper-personalization. So it's not always just a buzzword as part of that. One more capability to add within the Clever AI suite is a feature called Scribe. And so this tells you which emotion resonates with your customers on a regular basis. So when you're writing your prompts to users or getting them engaged in the apps, you're going to tune your messaging to that emotion with the click of a button. So for example, if your user responds to messages that have the emotion of anticipation rather than FOMO, you can attune your messaging and with a click of the button, turn up anticipation and add more of that messaging into your copy. So we've found that companies love this tool. It's really effective for writing messaging right within the CleverTap platform.
Thank you so much, Ben. Very interesting. Again, you shared really interesting real life cases with great results. And also, I think this feature, which helps to identify an emotion that resonates with segment customers, it's a treasure trove. So I guess our audience will really get interested. Sorry, I again muted myself. My bad. Now I see that you guys are really active on the chat, and some questions have been answered. Thank you so much, Roy, for that, because I saw that Roy has already covered a couple of them. But again, let me remind you, no worries if we don't have enough time to cover all the questions today, because we'll answer them anyways after the panel. And now let's take a look at the results of poll number 2. Awesome. Thank you so much, the event team. Or it's hard to identify a winner here. I'm even lost, because two options, they have 57% campaign structure and bid management, and also keyword research. Well, sounds reasonable. And they are closely followed by ad creation and optimization. So that's great. You guys are so actively using AI technology, and if you could also share your experience on the chart, would be really interested if you're open to that, because it's really interesting how exactly you are utilizing. And also 43% for audience segmentation and targeting. Thank you so much, guys, for voting once again. And we have another poll. I believe it also will be interesting to everyone. How are you leveraging AI-powered technology for mobile user engagement and retention, if you are using, of course? But you're such a great audience. I believe some of you are already utilizing that. So please share how exactly. Please vote. You have like 5 ready-made options and one more that enables you to describe it. So meanwhile, we are moving to last but not least subtopic of our discussion today. It's AI for measurement. And Roy, again, thank you so much for answering on the chat, but I have now a direct question to you also. So pivoting back to what we previously discussed, we somehow touched upon some AI and ML algorithms. So how are these algorithms elevating the precision of campaign performance measurement and refining LTV predictions? Could you please share?
Yeah, thanks, Lena, for bringing up this topic. And really, one of the reasons why the accuracy and the visibility of the marketing measurement is getting compromised is mostly because of the enhanced privacy policies and privacy first movements. And actually, in light of all these new privacy movements, I'm actually reiterating this again and again, that marketing mix modeling, MMM, can definitely help you increase the accuracy of your performance measurement. So MMM, the reason why is restated again, is that it's a statistical technique that uses aggregate data, not the device level granular data. And because of that, MMM is not subject to the recent privacy first movements and changes because it uses aggregate level data. So which kind of makes it a valuable tool for marketers who want to measure the effectiveness of their campaigns without compromising user privacy, without getting affected by some of the recent movements like ATT or privacy sandbox and deprecation of the third-party cookies. And maybe just adding one more thing to that in terms of LTV, definitely machine learning can be very useful for analyzing the LTV for some of the uncommon use cases or some of the uncommon business models, or maybe uncommon retention curves like U-shaped retention curves. So ML can be certainly a good way to measure the LTV of the users based on, in this case.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Roy, for revealing that. And now I have another question. Just a second. I'm also checking some new questions on the chat, and I see that we have new questions flooding in, but let's focus. Could you also elaborate on how these algorithms we have just discussed, AI and machine learning solutions, help detect ad fraud and ensure data reliability? Because now I see that Andrei he's mentioned on the chart that the most challenging access to data and get proper quality. And I think this is somehow similar to what I'm asking. So please share your take on.
Of course. So maybe answer your question first about the ad fraud. Certainly, ad fraud is a pervasive issue. And one common form of ad fraud could be device farms. So device farms generate fake touch points and conversions through a network of low quality devices. Often they're using a limited set of IPs as well. And this results in a noticeably low user engagement, low retention, and low conversion rates, differentiating it from other forms of normal, traffic. So AI and ML really comes into play by implementing advanced anomaly detection techniques. So these methods can identify suspicious patterns like clusters of activities originating from the same IP addresses, or maybe outmoded devices that are concentrated into one or two sub-publishers, or substantially low user engagement or other associated metrics from certain sub-publisher. So using ML and AI, we can definitely pinpoint some of the questionable sub-publishers and ensure the reliability of our data. And as I certainly agree with Andrea's question that we often, the data scientists say garbage in, garbage out. So in order for you to really maximize the utility of AI and ML, the role of data architects, the role of setting up the right data pipeline is so much important. And actually collecting the data with the high data integrity is so much important. So in that case, when you use solutions like, for example, SplitMetrics or CleverTab or Airbridge, sometimes we allow you to export the raw data of the user behaviors into your maybe AWS S3 or BigQuery, any kind of these data warehouses and storages. And because all of these data are collected in a very standardized way through SDKs or APIs, they're really clean and then reliable. So I would, if you want to set up the data pipeline, you can certainly do it yourself, or maybe you can use some of the tools like CleverTab and us or SplitMetrics to export the raw data and save it and then use it for your further analysis.
Thank you so much, Roy. Andrei tells us, take my beer. So that's a big praise, I think. Thank you. And yes, the data is really king now. That's really important. And now let's look at the poll results, poll number 3. The event team, could you please? Awesome, thank you. Oh, so that's quite predictable, I would say. So that most of us are utilizing AI technology for personalized messaging, and ChatGPT is really great for that. And then the second spot is behavioral segmentation, 60%, and then predictive churn analysis. That's really interesting. If you guys could like delve deeper and explain how you're utilizing technology for predictive churn analysis, we'll be really grateful. If you are shy, you could do that on the chat with host and panelists. And so then the fourth spot is real-time engagement strategies with 40% and user journey automation. Thank you so much, guys, for sharing your responses. Really, really interesting and inspiring, because if you haven't tried using AI technology for some of these options, you can get inspired because the colleagues, our industry peers are already doing that, and I guess successfully. And to wrap up our discussion today, I'd like to give our panelists a chance to share their predictions on how AI will basically reshape mobile app marketing in the next 5 years. I understand it's like a big journey, 5 years, but interesting to hear what you guys think. But please note that no more than 30 seconds could be spent per answer. And let's go with Zara. Zara, the floor is yours.
Sure, yeah, 30 seconds, just rush through. All right. So I think looking ahead, I think I would envision a future where AI sort of becomes the catalyst for efficiency and innovation in mobile app marketing. So let's say over the next 5 years, I think AI's role will evolve from assistance to empowerment. So it will streamline processes, I think, handle operational tasks, crunch data at unprecedented speeds. And this shift can basically liberate human marketers and allow them to basically channel their creativity into new realms of strategy, engagement, and connection. So the result of this could be a mobile marketing landscape, which is driven by seamless efficiency and I think human ingenuity. Did I do it in 30 seconds?
Looks like yes, you feel that. And now, Ben, it's your turn.
Over the next 5 years, AI will, transformatively retouch and reshape mobile app marketing. So from predictive analytics to precise targeting, to AI generated content, we're really looking at a renaissance of user engagement that will happen. And, marketers, are going to sculpt hyper personalized experience and building automation into that journey. And so really taking the fusion of intelligence and data, we'll really understand user intent as it relates to engagement and retention, as well as sort of the broader pieces where, as AI evolves, mobile app marketing will be, at least, 10x more targeted and more efficient than what we're seeing today or what we have seen.
Thank you so much, Ben. Really valuable. And let's see how it goes in the future. And Roy, could you please share your take on that?
Sure. Well, I see large language models, LLMs, like ChatGPT, will certainly have a biggest impact here. So first, data-driven insights, you can just get them easily by typing in simple natural language queries. For example, I want to find out the most effective channel, and then they'll just tell you. You don't really have to create all these tables and charts. Second, ad creatives and CRM messages will become hyper-personalized for each user. So really hyper-personalization is going to happen. And maybe the third, the personalization will extend to not only just messages, but also to search and recommendation experience. So these are the three biggest examples I believe will come in the future.
Thank you so much. I agree with personalization because everyone wants to see custom messages that are fitting their needs. And now me and the whole team, we would like to express our gratitude to both our precious panelists and our active attendees for their amazing participation and engagement throughout the whole our session, the whole discussion today. And I hope and I believe that you'll bring home really actionable insights and steps, some ideas probably to level up your mobile growth strategies with this big and hot technology, artificial intelligence. And now I would ask our team to launch the final poll. Thank you, guys. Please vote. How did you like today's panel? And now we actually have some time to answer the remaining questions. So let's move on to our Q&A session, and I will randomly read some questions from our chat. And so the first one is, how does AI handle rapidly changing user behaviors, especially unexpected ones? Well, we partially covered this topic, but I believe that, Ben, you 100% have something to add to that.
It's a tough question, but I think where you start to see is that you want to make predictions as early as possible. And doing so, you can influence the consumer behavior in a positive direction. So if this user, based upon just how they open the app or using it, you flag them as likely to churn, you want to put them in a path that will give them more engagement or likely to convert. And so making that prediction, and you have historical data about sort of reach and frequency and monetization value. And so you could build these personalized campaigns as part of this. And just continue to iterate, as they go through stages of the journeys or hit conversion goals. Each one of those steps is an opportunity to sort of reassess where that user falls to and how you should engage with them?
Well, it's a tough question, but you managed to answer that. Thank you so much, Ben. Really interesting. And the next one, just a second, just give me a second. What do you believe is the biggest misconception about AI for mobile app marketing? Roy, would you like to pick this one up?
Yeah, certainly. Well, the biggest misconception about AI and mobile marketing, I believe, is that people sometimes believe that it is a magic bullet that can solve all the problems. However, AI can be a powerful tool, of course, but it is important to remember that it is still a tool. So what I mean by that is it is really up to the marketers to use AI effectively and to understand its limitations. So one of the biggest limitations of AI is that it is only as good as the data it is trained on. What I mean by that is if the data is not representative of the real world, or if it's not really a common set of data, then the AI model will not be that much accurate. For example, if a model is trained on a data set of users who have a very typical retention curve, skewed towards the right, then it may not be accurate for some of these applications who have the users who have a U-shaped retention curve. So practically speaking, in the mobile marketing, retention curves are so much different from typical commerce style in-app purchases, or maybe hyper-casual gaming's in-app ads, or subscription apps, and they all have very much different retention curves. So each one of these models should be customized for each one of these cases. So you have to remember the AI model is always trained on a data, and not all the data from all of these applications are the same. You should definitely pick and select the model and train them according to your own data that you're having in your application.
Yeah, thank you, Roy. I agree. You should feed your own data, like to provide it with your own context, so that it could build something data-driven for you. And now let's move on and try and answer one more question. We have still have some time, a few minutes left. So this will be this one. How do you measure the ROI of integrating AI into your marketing campaigns? Well, measurement is like evergreen topic. So Ben, I'd ask you to answer this one.
Definitely measurement is a critical piece of this. As a general rule of thumb, you look at marketing ROI as having a 2-to-1 ratio, $2 return for every dollar spent. If you're not meeting that benchmark, what is your profitability that's there? And so thankfully, AI assisted tools is helping us with the frequency and channel and personalization as part of that. Really, though, to look at AI and sort of where you're making that impact is experimenting. So running A/B testing within your user base. Roy talked about MMM. I think there's great examples, and how assist you in this process to give you those insights. And then on top of that, specifically, as part of journey orchestration, IntelliNote is becoming sort of critical to sort of every path. How you optimizing conversions? Is it creating a great user experience? And then you can see those goals defined at each step of that journey. And so now you're reducing your cost as well as optimizing your marketing efforts.
Well, thank you so much, Ben. And I also have, I see the question from Anastasia. Are there any open AI services that can be used to be trained for LTV prediction? You guys heard of that? Do you have something in mind? Or if you need some time to think, then we'll share your responses, your replies with Anastasia after the panel. So Anastasia will collect the answers from all the panelists, all experts today, and we'll share all together. And after the panel. So, and let me remind you that we'll be sending out the recordings, so you'll be able to, like, again, hear what you've heard today, to dive deeper in this AI world. And yes, we'll share the answers. So if you like some more questions pop up in your mind after the panel, also please feel free to reach out to us, to SplitMetrics and our experts from Airbridge and CleverTap. We are always ready and open to help. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us today. Thank you so much, our dear panelists. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Roy. Thank you, Zara. And I've had pleasure talking to you today, and I believe our audience as well. They got really, really insightful tips. So thank you, and meet you, I hope, during future panels.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Lena, Zara, Ben, and the rest of the audience. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, as well.